dove into the crowd.
Yeah, like he jumped in with his legs like curled.
And they called him.
And then I don't know if they called him or not, but you know.
Shoot.
But he hit the ball back,
Damn.
and the ball came back, and it was still a live ball.
Somebody got uppercut for sure.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to another episode of the ReLax podcast, where we talk anything and everything. My name is B. With me, of course, are my boys Sia, LP, Yee.
What's up?
What's up, guys?
And our boy from Minnesota, Chang. What's up, Chang?
What's up, Chang?
Hello, how's everybody doing today?
Doing wonderful, man. Hey, this is our first episode with you on this, man. Pretty excited.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad we're getting this to work out. A lot of technical difficulties earlier, but
Yeah.
let's do this.
I mean, you were in our the Superstition podcast live here, but this is our first time with you virtually, so this will be pretty fun.
Yeah, that is correct, yes.
All right, anywho, so going to our podcast today, we're going back to our origins, friends. We're going back to volleyball.
Volleyball.
Volleyball. I love volleyball.
Today's podcast, we will investigate and dig deep, though, into the actual strategies and the tactics of the game. Okay, so before it was, we learned the history and whatnot, but now we're going to the strategies. But we're going to look through it through a coach's perspective, because all of us have coached in the past. So this episode, hopefully, it's educational for the viewers. But we're going to dig deep and look through a coach's lenses. Okay? Y'all ready?
Sounds good.
Yep.
Okay,
Let's
put
do
your
this.
coach's cap on. Question number one.
Let's go.
As a coach, what do you think are the most important qualities to have in a successful team? It could be intangibles or like any physical attributes. Sia, you want to lead us off?
Yeah. So if I was a coach, one of the most important things for me would be positive attitude. I think it's important to have that kind of mindset in the game itself. Volleyball is a game where every serve is considered a point. There's going to be mistakes. You can't allow that play or that point to determine the rest of the game. Meaning, like, you don't want to hurt yourself. The attitude in the game, it's keep moving on, move forward. So it's important to shake it off and move on. And I think having players keep your head up, teammates, to encourage you to move forward and move on helps a lot. So positive attitude would probably be like my number one my number one like attribute.
So you would find athletes who have that positive attitude.
Yeah. I mean, not all athletes will have it, but that could be taught.
That could be taught.
Like
Right.
people have different upbringings and they have their own stories. So that's actually something that you can teach. Patience. Like just be positive and help each other. No one likes playing with a person with a negative attitude. Nobody enjoys that. Let's be honest.
It brings the whole team down, man.
Yeah, I mean, you're battling against yourself. The term would be, you have your own cancer in the team. In NFL, they say, oh, he's a cancer of the team, right? Someone who has a bad attitude might be the cancer of the team.
AB.
Yeah. So, I think another thing is people, like, when you're positive, stop praising yourself. Players who praise themselves, they're just bottom line arrogant. I think you let your game speak for itself. Let other people do it for you. Be humble. I think those are the those are the players people want to play for and win.
Yeah.
And that starts with a positive attitude. Just be humble and just teach players to be. You help teach players to also be accountable. Like I said, volleyball is a game where it's split seconds. So there's a lot of mistakes that happen with every play. Very situational. Every play is going to be different. I think holding people or players accountable, I get that everyone's human, so there will be mistakes and sometimes there will be crucial plays. But understand that sometimes it's not your fault. Sometimes when it is your fault, stop pointing the finger to other people.
Right.
Like, stop saying that.
Acknowledge it.
Yeah, like, stop saying that, hey, that's a bad set or that was a bad hit or You played
Yeah,
poorly
yeah,
on
yeah,
defense. Like, just acknowledge that. Hey,
Right.
even
My
if
bad.
that wasn't
Yeah.
right, just acknowledge it. Just understand that.
Own up to it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 5 other players on the court with you, teammates, and I think most importantly, like, just take accountability. You know, just be accountable. Because everyone there's always something to improve on.
Yeah, I see that in a lot of successful teams in home volleyball. Like, you think about the KOs, the Midwest, even the Cali teams. You don't see a lot of negative vibes coming from their squads. I mean, you watch them in J4; they're all cheering together. One mistake after another, they don't knock that person down.
Right.
They find a way to uplift that one individual who made the mistake so that they can propel themselves in the next play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, also, like, on top of that, like, I think having a good leader, to kind of bring everyone to gel everyone, like, when the team is, like, starting to kind of, like, crash and fall apart, there's that one player to kind of hold the team together.
Just kind of bring it all back together.
Yeah, keep things rolling,
Gotcha. Yeah, cool.
And that's hard to find, man.
A good, like, a team leader. Like
leadership, somebody that will bring the team together.
That's kind of my point, too. I think one attribute for sure is leadership. So, like, one of my points is, like, you have to have that teammate who's going to propel you and have that vision and create that guidance for your teammates to follow. Whether if it's at, your team is at the highest, he'll bring you back down to, hey, stay humble, stay competitive, stay in the game. You're up 12-3.
Game's not done, man.
Game's not done. That leader still has to step in and bring you back down.
Yep.
And then obviously vice versa. When you're down, that leader's got to find a way to motivate you,
bring you back
up, to get you back into the game, to create that, that
just keep fighting,
that hype, I guess, what people are saying, and a leader is not always that rah person too. You know what I mean? They're able to, they have to be savvy, right? So they gotta be almost court smart too. Individuals like I think of Blong, our guy Blong, where he uses his actions and his play to kind of lead the team more than vocalize. Right? So, I mean, leadership comes in many
ways.
forms.
Many shapes, ways, or forms, yep.
Sometimes it's playing, sometimes it's vocal, like talking.
Sometimes physical,
We're trying to
smack him up.
fight.
You messed up on this ball, man.
But I know physical.
My other point is actually, so other than leadership, I believe in trust as well. I think trust goes along with team chemistry. Where when you're on the court, the person next to you, the person across from you, whoever's blocking and whatnot, you have to trust every single person within the game, because then when you're playing, trust becomes the game within the game, so it makes the game harder. You're trying to beat the other team, but then in reality, you're trying to fight your own teammates because you don't trust that teammate. Then you're overcompensating things. That makes the game even harder, the volleyball game even harder.
Yeah, you become handicapped, man.
Yeah. And I noticed, like, playing games or playing volleyball games in the past where I've been in just regular pickup games or teams, and I probably trust maybe one or two guys, and the other teammates are just maybe guys who I don't really play a lot with, so I'm still kind of getting to know how they move. And actually, I try to overcompensate, like I said. But then it wasn't until, like, we actually played, like, a competitive team that continues to play over and over again, like Team Lax, where we started to gel and we started to see how each other moves, and then that's where we started gaining trust with each other. And then from when we gained that trust, I feel like that's what we kind of took another step forward.
Excelled.
And then we don't have to worry about each other's back anymore. We just go.
Trust,
We just play, and then we just trust each other, and it makes the game a lot easier to play. Yeah.
Well, I think that comes with time too, though. Like, the more you play with one another, the more you're gonna know how they play. The more you're gonna trust that person, right? Somebody that, like you said, you're playing with somebody that is, like, kind of new to the game or even new to you. You won't necessarily trust him or her to the point where you trust somebody that you've been playing with. So with repetition, with repetition, hopefully that trust is, being built.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes it's hard. Like, speaking in general, like, just for me, like, even if I'm playing, like, next to a player who's been playing for a long time, I still tend to, like,
he don't know what he's doing.
Yeah. Like, should I like do this more or should I do that more to help him or not help him? Just because I feel like
yeah.
no, that goes back to what B says, trust. Like, I don't fully trust that person yet. You know, like if it's a crucial point, if the ball is getting served right to him, should I just take it? You know, should I just ball hog it or something? But again, you know, like B says, that's all trust, and that's just you're helping each other do the best for the game for your team. You know?
And I'm gonna add a little bit to that, and that's communication. You know, that example of you, you know, serve receiving instead of that person. Well, when you take that, and that pass goes well, and that rally ends, you have to have that communication with that partner, that person who just stole the pass from. Hey,
I didn't trust you.
That's why I took it.
I don't know what's up.
but like, you know, you go back and you be like, hey, bro, like, is that mine? Is that yours? You mind if I take that? Or are you gonna take that next time if it comes between you and I?
Yeah.
Or like, hey, I get the shorts and you
get the long.
You get long, yeah.
Long ones.
Like, you have to have that conversation if you want to build trust, though, because if you don't have that conversation, you start to lose trust. That person now is like, oh shoot, you know, am I this bad? That's why he's stealing my stuff. You know, like that's where that chemistry comes in, right, Lee? What you were gonna say too?
Yes, the chemistry. That's one of the big things in volleyball that a team should really have. You know, even though if you have really good players on a team and the team has no chemistry at all, that team's not gonna go anywhere. But for example, like us, we've been playing for a long time together, right? And even though if we would stop for a few years, we come back on the court together, I know that we still have the chemistry. We still play like how we used to play in the old days, because that chemistry that we always had back in the long time ago, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you there, because I mean, I've been out just playing with some of the young bucks here and there, right? But then a few times do all the OGs actually come out, but then once in a while, like Blong, you know, Sia, Lee, you, and like maybe Pa and them, they come out and we start playing. It's almost like
you forgot me, man. I'm an OG too.
Well, you,
Play ball?
I did not know you played
I
ball.
used to. That's a long time ago.
No, actually, Cheng was one of our middle hitters. For the people who don't know, for Team ReLax and Team Lax.
I wasn't good, so they didn't put me in much. So
if you watch our YouTube videos, you will see Cheng's the one that kind of carries the igloo with water in it.
yeah. That's me.
Yeah, that's part of the team too, man.
Yeah, man.
You're right.
Well, yeah, going off of that though, Lee, actually, but when the OGs come out and play, I feel like I'm more relaxed as a person. I just
That's true.
as a player.
Yeah.
I'd play and it's like, okay, we left off where we were.
Yep, we're very comfortable.
Like, you know how like my ones or my twos or my halves, you just throw it there, I'll be there.
Yeah.
You don't, I know you'll be there.
I know you be there.
Yeah.
I apologize if I might not, but
Still driving down from Minnesota to run that one. What about you, Cheng?
I think you guys all touched base on a lot of the good qualities already. I feel like I've been out of the game for quite some time now, and I just love it so much that my passion, I feel like for me, for sure, definitely, good chemistry, someone who can take the initiative to be a good leader. Not only that, but the entirety of it is built on trust. Kind of going back to what Sid says, when you're playing with your teammate, especially, you want to build that trust, or you want to make sure that when you're playing with each other, you know your positions, your spots, how to defend, how to properly make the plays, and trust those players to make it count when things are tough and stuff. And I mean, back then I've been in those situations too, and I feel like it's been a long time for me now, but I mean, I think it's very vital to have good trust in the whole compatibility of making a good team. So I mean, that's kind of like, I think you guys all nailed it. So yeah,
cool. You had anything to add to that?
I got a lot to add, man.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I think a player that is willing to learn, a player that is coachable, like
the qualities of the team though.
of a team,
Yeah.
not a player.
A team, but A player is part of the team, though.
The team is coachable.
Oh yeah, okay. So you talk. Okay, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
changed
yeah.
it up,
All
changed
right,
it
all
up.
right, all right. There you go. Language.
Oh, actually,
yeah.
I apologize. I do want to add one thing too, Yi.
Yeah.
I think, well, for me too, I think someone who has a lot of passion into it too. I think that's a good key point, especially when we were playing back in the day. You know, I feel like passion plays a lot into it. Like someone who really wants to play, who really wants to take the initiative and build their skills and stuff. I think that's something that will really help carry them in the long run. So.
Right. That's one of my points too. Is being passionate about it, having drive, having vision, and being committed to the game regardless of how many L's you take, man. Yeah.
That's for sure.
You talking about passion as if like
As in like wanting to get better, wanting to play.
Yeah,
okay, so never like a team that does not give up when they're down.
Yeah.
Even
So, like,
during the
even-
game, after the game,
Even if they
2-3 months down
2
the
and out, 2 and out at a tournament, like
Always give it your best.
if you still got passion, like don't let that discourage you and just
Yeah.
play the next tournament, play at the park. You know,
Yeah.
as a squad too, though. You know, obviously that's the thing about a team is that some players might have more drive than others. You know, and if a whole team has the same drive,
That's awesome.
they can definitely go further than teams that don't, or even individuals that
for
don't.
sure.
Yep. I mean, you got 6 guys going towards the same goal.
Yeah,
That's a lot better than just having 2 guys of 6 going the same goal.
yeah.
Yeah.
because I see passion when you said that. Like I see people cheering each other on the court.
Sure,
I
that's
see
part
people,
of it. Yeah,
clapping hands or
high fiving.
high fiving each other. Screaming together as a
Yeah.
team, celebrating as a team, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's part of it, man.
Part of
That's
it?
part
Yeah,
of drive.
yeah.
That's part of passion.
Right.
Because if you you get a like a very very good side out and you're just dead. Like
Or a big
Where's-
block.
where's the energy,
That's
you know?
gonna kill the whole
Yeah.
team morality for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, those are just some attributes that we want to touch upon. Like I think most of the attributes that we talked about was intangibles, right? Leadership, trust, teamwork, passion,
Attitude.
right? All those things, and I don't think a lot of people are able to identify that. Like,
because it's not something that you
Right
can
away.
see right away. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
because it's not physical.
That's true. Like it took me like a long time to see that. Because when I was young, that's all I cared about was how cool I looked.
Yeah,
right.
You know,
how
we
high
never.
this dude could jump.
Yeah, we never cared. I was praising myself. I was saying I was the best and
Yeah.
yada yada yada. And I'm sure everyone had their moment, but it was like until like later when you realize it's
What's
not
the importance of it?
it's
yeah.
not about you.
Yeah,
Right.
It's about volleyball. It's about the sport. It's about the camaraderie of the team.
The team.
You know.
Yeah. And I think looking through a coach's perspective, like you can teach that stuff. And
Yeah.
that's something that I as a coach, I put into my coaching philosophy. And I think that leads us to our second question is like as a coach, now you want to teach these intangibles, but then at the end of the day, it is about execution with the tactics and the strategies of the game. All right, so this next question, if you were the coach now, what would you emphasize more on, offense or defense? So let me break it down just a tad more. So to clarify, like basically if you are coaching, you're teaching something, what would your practice look like? Right? What drills would you emphasize on more than the other? Is it on offense or is it on defense?
Mine's easy, man. It's all about for me. It's all about moving your feet. For me, so it's defense. Okay, so like before I get started, like I said, like back in the day, all we cared about was offense. We didn't care about passes. We didn't care about blocks. We didn't care about shifting or playing defense. It wasn't until like later when you understood, hey, we're doing something wrong. Like we can't just keep siding out. We gotta start playing some defense. So I think for me as a coach, I would emphasize on defense. Like if you can't pass, your setter can't set. If your setter can't set, your spiker can't spike. Simple. That just means you're not going to win volleyball games like that. So I would emphasize on defense. Like, it just means like move your feet, stop locking your legs, understand the blocks, just stuff like that. I would teach first before spiking. Bumps, serves or blocks, reading the blocks, reading the hitters. I can't stand someone who like can shink a ball, an easy pass or defense
free ball pass.
Yeah, like just like
Yeah.
it annoys the crap out of me. Like it's an
You
easy
must hate
pass.
me a lot then.
No, no, not you, Jay, not you. But like, I can forgive a guy who hits a ball into the net or hits out. You know, that's okay. I can't stand a guy who bumps a pass and can't get to the setter if the pass is easy, supposed to be easy, or if you can't read the defense when it's an easy read. You know what I mean? Like some of that stuff should be just fundamentals, and a lot of kids or players, they tend to just don't care about defense. They just care about offense, and they don't want to move their feet, and they just can't wait to get to the front row because they just want to show.
Yeah, want to hit the ball.
Yeah,
kill
they just
it.
want to show how hard they can hit the ball. Like,
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah, like bro, you can hit the ball as hard as you want, but you can't serve a ball if you can't play defense. That's what people are gonna remember you at.
Pointless.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh yeah,
Oh,
he
that
can.
guy can't pass.
Yeah,
man.
he can hit, but dude, just keep serving it to him.
Yeah.
You know? Like
Yeah.
that's embarrassing, dude. Like I wouldn't want to be the guy like I would serve it to the guy who can't pass. I would serve it to the guy who can't play, or I would hit to the guy who can't play defense who won't move feet because hey, I don't care about your feelings. I just want to win.
That's
Right.
points, dude.
You know, so I think blocking is very underrated. People talk about spiking and defense, but I think blocking is a big part of the sport of volleyball. And when you talk about defense, blocking is part of defense.
Yeah, that's the
Because
first line of defense.
It is.
It's the first line of defense.
Yeah, and then it's crucial because your defenders are judging
on that.
are judging how to move off the blocks.
Right.
So I think it's very crucial to learn how to operate in the back just based off your blockers. And that goes back to what we were saying was trust,
Yeah.
I think having big blockers definitely makes playing defense a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to elaborate more on blocking, man, what I see and notice in the Hmong game is that like it's individual blocks, and the blocker is one-on-one, and so for example, that middle blocker, right? He's got to swing to the outside of block. I notice a lot of teams nowadays are let's follow the fundamentals to movement, how to move from the middle position to the outside, and then block as a team. Whereas I'm seeing nowadays it's all individualized. Middle blocker comes in, he doesn't cover the gap, he goes his cross. The guy who's blocking the line goes his line. You leave the open gap.
Yeah.
There's no team blocks.
Yeah.
And people just think that blocks is just based off of an individual being a better blocker. But
Right.
in actuality, if you want to play a team game and play team defense, you have to know how to team block.
Yeah.
And I don't see that a lot.
It's not taught in Hmong volleyball.
It's
man.
not.
Yeah.
No.
And you made a really good point about coaching. Growing up, a lot of Hmong volleyball players don't have coaches,
Yeah.
so stuff like
Yeah.
this can't be like really taught. It's just about like people wanting to teach others, and I'm just gonna say like some people are shady. Some people don't want to teach other people, So some of this stuff is hard to learn on your own if you don't have someone teaching you. So that's why like we always say, hey, come ask us if you guys need any advice because we're willing to teach you. But if you guys don't want to, we're not gonna engage and say, hey, you're doing this wrong. That
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
You gotta want to learn, right?
Right.
I don't want to come into your circle and act like I know it all.
Yeah.
Because
This is gonna think you got a dick, dude.
yeah, exactly, dude, exactly. They're like, oh, what's this
You're a
guy?
know-it-all,
Like,
smarty pants.
yeah,
Yeah.
like this guy just came and told us how to do this and yada yada yada. Like, dude, like that's not
Right.
how it is. When you get older, you'll see. You'll understand that, it's important to have a coach. Someone on the outside to say, this is what you guys need to do better. This is what you need to work on.
Yeah.
And my main thing is move your feet. So it would be, and I would emphasize defense.
Yeah. And a team that has like very good blocks or blockers are like teams that usually you're afraid to go up against because you can't hit a ball on their side and kill it. And a lot of that is because you can't hype your team because your hits are nothing to them. They just either block it, they touch it, easy ball for them.
Yeah.
So like B said, that first line of defense, if you got that on lock, dude, it's easy for your defense.
To pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and also if you can't play defense, you're fighting your own battles. You're not just worried about the other team fighting you. you're fighting against yourself because you can't guarantee a good pass or an easy defense.
And then the shakes start happening, bro.
And then the shanks start happening, and then people start pointing at people and saying you should have got it. Yada.
And then
Guys,
you start shaking because you're changing.
guys.
And then you gotta blame the bloggers, guys.
So to fix that, move your feet, play defense.
Defense for you, Sia. What about you, Lee?
Me, I say a little of both, man. A little offense, a little defense. You know, team. You know, a team with the best defense and no offense, they're not gonna go anywhere. But that's the same that goes with the team that has the best offense and no defense. You know, so you're gonna need a little bit of offense, a little bit of defense, a little bit of both.
Overall team.
Yeah, overall team, dude. That's all I got to go with. And but that we were talking about the kids coming to ask for advice since our last episode.
Nobody has.
I was asking you guys. Everybody asked for you guys to invest.
Man, that's on you guys.
Yeah,
Man.
I haven't got any yet. You know,
It's actually funny because
I've been home.
Actually funny because like I said, Koo usually always asks us for advice. Little Koo, and then Ping. You know, like we play men's league on Mondays. You know, we've been playing men's leagues, and Ping plays with us.
Yeah.
And you know, he will ask me like, "Hey, what do you think I should do here, that, or yeah." Like that's the stuff that makes you feel like, hey, this guy wants to learn.
Right.
So for me, like Ping's been actually like very engaging, and he's like, hey, how do you work on floater passes? I'm like, I'm still trying to figure that out too. Dude. I can't even do that.
He about to teach you, man.
To answer your question, I think there's been a lot of kiddos who come out and just ask, but like I hope that they are not asking just because of the podcast, but they're genuinely asking to learn and get better. And I believe that it is for the better.
I think the podcast did help because
I was gonna say
that was our way of telling them, hey guys, if you guys need questions or stuff, ask us.
Yeah.
Because at the gym, we're just kind of there to play, and we might look intimidating to ask because we're the older guys. Because back in the days, we wouldn't ask the older guys.
That's true.
Fuck that. We just
You were like
try to beat them.
Try to beat them. Learn our own self and just learn our own selves.
Yeah.
that's true, man.
That's the issue we have here, man. Because it's a domino effect. Because we're probably just like, probably not as bad, but just
At
like
least
the
we
older
try
guys.
to break it, man.
Just
The older guys.
just like the older guys in our generations, man.
They didn't do nothing.
There's a few, that are like us, but a lot of guys, they were just tough love, dude. It's tough love.
I agree.
But
you gotta fight for your spot to play,
Yeah.
especially especially Hill Park.
You gotta earn it, man. It's not given.
Bring your own team. And like, hey, I'm gonna count after you. And just gotta like be stern about it, and
Gotcha. What about you, Chang? What do you see is your coaching philosophy? More emphasis on offense or on defense?
I definitely say both too, but like again, I think I've always been a good defense would always set up a good offense for me, because I just think that you can't really do anything, if you can't really pass or anything, especially when I come back and play the park, every once 100 years, but every time I come back and I would see some of these like young guys hitting, I'm like, damn, they could really hit. But when we scrimmage and everything, I'm like, damn, they can't pass, they can't set up that setup for the hit. So I mean, they look intimidating, showballing, but when we get to playing it and all that, then it's just like it's not too bad, because they can't even get the setup and everything. The pass is not there, so I think it's always, and plus for me too, when I was training too, a lot of the initial issues that we struggled a lot was just people not being able to set up the pass and everything. So when I was high school coach, I think we emphasized that a lot in order to initiate the plays and everything. So, but otherwise, I think both are very crucial and critical to the game too. But that's just my 2 cents.
So Ching, what you're saying is that, hey, this guy can hit like straight down, but then as soon as you guys start playing, all that goes out the window, because all you can think about is how poor he plays defense.
Well, and that too, but like their squad, just like I remember there was one time when what is it?
Ching, are you bouncing on a bouncing ball right now?
Yes, I am.
That's what you're talking about. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Sorry.
So like I said again, when I came back out in the past a little bit more and watching some of these like young guys play it, and like compared to me, I'm like, damn, I suck now. Like I would watch them like, damn, they're like so good, like showballing, damn, like that's just like wow. But then it's like when we ball and they can't get that pass, they can't get that set, they're like struggling. I'm like we're frustrated, and then for me it's like, oh man, like that's they can't do anything much without it. So they'll do what they can, but at the end of the day, like they can't get that pass up, they can't defend that serve, then their offense, it can't be played out. So that's why I was like, it's cool, whatever, I could watch a show ball here and there, but if it's actually in the game, and if your team can't step up, or if you can't step up on that pass, and for sure, and by all means, I was never the best passer too. I suck too. So so that's why you guys never see me. So.
Yeah, you can swing the ball as hard as you can during shovel, but if you can't swing like that in the game,
sure,
you're trash.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
So far we've all pretty much said defense. Lipa kind of said both. Ching said defense sets up the offense. Do you feel the same way, B? I mean, like, you've always been like a kind of defensive guy.
Yeah, what's up with you? But you're like the head coach, man.
Yeah.
No, I think you guys hit it on the dot. Actually, I go all defense. So if you were to come into my gym and watch me coach and whatnot, I would go hard on defense. We wouldn't be doing much offensive stuff. You think about volleyball, right? What is the first thing that you do to start the game?
You serve
the ball. So why don't we learn how to serve the ball first?
Start first.
Why do we learn how to hit the ball down when that's like three sequences down?
Yeah.
Right? Learn how to serve the ball. Then you gotta what? Pass the ball. Then you gotta do what? Set the ball. Then you can hit. Then you can work on a little bit of schematic defense and whatnot, right? But at the end of the day, though, I go down to one thing, and that's ball control. So any advice I give to young guys out there?
Ball control.
Ball control. Like I tell them. So one kiddo came up to me and asked me, B, what's an advice you want to give me? And I tell him, hey, get used to that ball. All right? Volleyball is the manipulative game, so that means there's an implementation. There's a ball that you have to manipulate. You have to know the texture. You got to feel the texture of the ball. You got to get used to the air, whatever, just the feel of the ball. Whether if you just carrying the ball around you, whether it's you just hitting the ball down the ground, or maybe just setting to yourself, try to touch the ball as much as you can. Every rep counts. And that's kind of how, like, I grew up doing. I just had a ball. I just try to touch the ball, the volleyball, as often as I can so that I can manipulate it off the court, on the court. And that usually gradually translates into the actual game. And that becomes ball control. When people say ball control, it really is just ball control. How do you manipulate? How do you change the direction of the ball? How do you control the ball? And it starts with just understanding how the ball works. That's the first thing. And then, as a coach, I say defense because I come down to the fundamentals of things. Like I'm more of a coach that kind of teach critical elements of the body position and how you move and how do you manipulate your body to control the ball. So, like, I teach a lot of body positioning, body movements, posture, and if you can get that down, then the hitting will come in a little bit or later on. So, like, I think going off what you were saying too, like, defense starts with blocking. I mean, if you're able to move your blocks accordingly, so that middle blocker, here's another advice. It's a 3-step approach: left, right, left, just like you're hitting, or right, left, right. You're moving side to side. You got to have that footwork down in order to successfully get to that position. Volleyball is not hard. Sometimes we overcomplicate a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it really is getting from point A to point B. How do you control that ball? And it starts by you getting a feel of the ball, and that's why I say defense, because, like you said, you can't set up an offense unless you have good defense, unless you have good ball control. Most of the teams that we watch, the good, successful teams, they have great ball control, great defense. I think of KO. Like, they get overshadowed by, like, their straight down hits, like the Hovas, the Yilangs that were cranking it. Did they not see, like, the set? The pass.
Yeah.
Great
like, dude, like, your pass won't go down. They can run fast middles, outside one-on-one because of the pass. And same with Midwest. People think, oh, hey, Corey, man, he's the only reason why Midwest wins all the time. Dude, go look at their film, bro. Their defense is stacked. Look at primetime.
System. Yep.
All these good athletic teams, they have good defense. They bring, like you mentioned before, in our last podcast, you mentioned that California, they bring like 8-10 guys, maybe even 15 guys, a whole 6 of back row players.
2 teams.
Yeah.
Dude, and its success comes from being defensive players.
That's smart because Midwest, we've been playing like 6-7 guys for the longest time, man. You go to all these tournaments and you see these big names and they're like 7 deep, maybe 2 setters, you know.
Right.
But you don't see, everybody is like playing all around, but you don't see like a actual defensive lineup. You know, the guys that actually just freaking pass.
Yeah.
That's it. That's their position, you know. When Cali came with 12 guys, you're talking 15 guys, and they got little guys playing D and tall guys swinging, and you know it's their guys are replenished. Their guys they know their position, and you know it's easier for them to. It's one less thing for them to worry about, you know.
But the thing is, I think they're so. I think. Well, I can exclude the Cali guys, but here in the Midwest, bitch, more team volleyball. We don't have organized volleyball like
We don't.
men's volleyball for high school and whatnot. So not a lot of kiddos know how to learn or how. Yeah, they don't know how to learn, how to actually do the movement or the fundamental movement. Those good teams that we mentioned here, like the Midwest, the KOs, they were naturally good passers. Good ball controllers, so like let you emphasize on defense. So all they see is, oh, where do you got that taken care of? We got to move on to offense now. So they're more emphasized on offense. I can see that happening though, because the looking on there, and they don't even have to talk about this. They already know how to do this.
Right.
Now they're more focused up here.
Right.
But you have to start here first in order to get there.
And but I think one thing is that they've been playing so long to be able to play at that level though, you know. Like, I guarantee you, back when they first started, they were just like any other young guys that wanted to hit.
Straight
You
down.
know, but with time, they experienced that volleyball is just more than just swinging. Just more than just attacking and having the whole defensive lineup and being able to pass to set up the offense chain. Right?
Yeah,
Is crucial part of the game that is like we said overshadowed by all the action.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. A team I have here that kind of fits like my coaching philosophy is Titans.
Titans.
From Cali.
Shout out Titans.
Yeah, shout out. Are they from Fresno? Chicago.
They're from Cali.
Somewhere in Cali. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think they're from Fresno.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to them. Hopefully they can hit us up too. But no, I say Titans because they have probably one of my favorite home players of all time, Allen, right? He's a beast, beast hitter who can just adjust to any shot. But if you look at their team, they're not the most, I guess, intimidating looking.
Scary looking, man.
They're not the tallest, right? But the thing that they have though, they have cohesiveness defensively. They're able to control that ball. They're able to pass that ball up, play good team defense. You don't see one player just having massive blocks. You see, one block here, one block here, one block here, random spurts throughout the game. That's team blocks, you know what I mean? And everybody is able to do that. And that takes, like what you guys mentioned, that takes so much time to build that and trial and error to build that continuity. Within a team.
Yeah, I want to mention, like, as soon as you said Titans, like, and they have that beast of a hitter as in Allen, but dude, like, their guy CU, the way he plays defense, and he is phenomenal, dude. Like, when he first came to July 4th and I was watching him, I was like, this guy understands the basics and the fundamentals, and he's got the expertise of playing defense. This guy's like. He's so good, dude. Yeah. And, like, told me I think, but he's
IQ,
like...
IQ, man. His IQ is there.
He is, like, good as hell, dude.
Like,
yeah, he's, like, so good.
I saw a hit where Corey hit one, and he was positioned in that cross court, and I believe Corey was hitting strong side. He was out of... CU was out of position. Corey hit it straight down, but he was able to move his feet so fast and get that up. I don't think he got the actual up, but he got a hand on it, like 2 hands on it, as if he was there like half a second earlier, it would have been an up. But for someone to move that fast with the speed of Corey's hit, dude, that's props to him and his footwork and his intelligence of the game.
Yeah, like there was one play that I'm gonna remember. Like the dude jumped into the crowd, like
Dang.
you know how July 4th, like people crowd the court, and there was a ball that was for sure like gonna like die, you know, and dude like jumped right into the court, like right into like the crowd of guys, and like hit the ball back into the court. I'm like, damn.
He dove into the crowd.
Yeah, like he jumped in with his legs like curled.
And they caught him.
And then I don't know what they called him or not, but just don't do it, you know?
Oh, shoot.
But he hit the ball back, and the ball came back, and
Damn.
it was still a live ball.
play.
Somebody got uppercut for sure.
That was awesome,
They got
dude.
smacked in the head, man.
But yeah, big shout out to Titans, man. Like Titans and Titans and what's your
You're
name?
the future, man.
Yeah.
Titans and primetime. Like two of the really good Hmong
Top
teams,
teams, yeah.
that I have seen in a long time. You know.
That's true. I also want to bring up the defense doesn't really get recognized a lot, you know.
No way, dude.
Like the offense, like, you know, Hova, Allen, them, when they step up to the offense, you know that, oh, dude, this offense is going to be good. Or like the offense is going to be good. But then a really good defense player, like what Sid said, steps into the defense. They're like, they don't even know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good, yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually really
You know what I'm talking about? And
Good
then,
take. Yeah.
and then until they start playing, they start D'ing, you recognize
What's his
it.
name?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
because they don't get a lot of the action.
they don't.
Because a lot of the offense is the action of volleyball.
It
It's
is.
the wow factor.
Yeah, it's like, damn, this guy
Spiking
can
is the wow
jump.
factor.
Oh, it's like, I know that straight down. He jumps so fucking high, you know?
The offense
You don't
takes
say,
up
oh,
like,
shit, this dude's fucking quick and get that pass.
right.
Yeah.
You don't.
You know,
Yeah.
which goes back to it's overshadowed, you know, and to have players to be able to pick up balls, you know, where it counts the most, and then have your offense guys just take care of it. They just get the wow factor is just given all the props is given all to the offense, you know,
Yep.
and even the setter is overshadowed too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So what would you pick then right away? You would say defense too?
I would agree with Lee though. I think we would need a combination of both because I truly think defense starts as soon as we receive the ball. You know, as soon as we receive it, we're setting up to attack, but we're still playing defense. We're still following our hitter just in case he gets blocked. You know, because that's also part of defense. So as soon as that ball is served, you're playing defense until the ball's dead. Then you're not playing defense no more.
Right. Because like a passer could, shank a pass, so
A
you
passer
gotta
just
be
go-
ready to.
yeah.
to
Pass can go
adjust
straight up to
that.
the net, and
Sure.
you got freaking Hova there swinging at you. You got to play D second ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, these are good takes. I think we all kind of majorly agree, though. I think it's more defense than
If you were a coach, if we were a coach,
if we were
right.
looking through a coach's perspective.
But do you think it would be different if we were younger?
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
Like we wouldn't even say defense. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
Offense.
Yeah.
I think
Focus on offense. Focus on offense.
the first time I kind of had that realization was probably like 2013, when the Sheboygan guys came and played at the Hope tournament here in La Crosse.
Is that ABZ?
ABZ. Yeah, those guys are fun. Shout out to them too. Well, they came and we had a conversation. What's
Yeah,
that?
you
Sure.
guys.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure,
and,
center.
Show the Sheboygan guys.
yeah.
And Sonny and
I forgot
them.
what some of the
Sonny
guys
and
were.
Pingun.
Yeah, Sonny. Yeah.
Yeah. They came and we had a kind of a short conversation after the game, and we were questioning them like, "Hey, why did you guys put Sonny in the middle when he was beasting outside?" Their answer was, "Oh, for blocks."
System. Yeah.
Yeah, for blocks. And I'm like, at that time, like, what? Really, man? Wow, they're more defensive, oriented compared to us, where we were like, shoot.
Our
Why,
best guys
why,
go
why,
outside.
why
Yeah.
would we put Powell hitting outside when he's our best blocker in the middle where he can go both sides of the block? What were we thinking at that time? I remember making that cognitive stamp in my head
Yeah.
that, hey man, maybe we should start shifting more towards maybe a little bit more defensive oriented, knowing that we're not the tallest either, as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add?
Move your feet.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Play
Dude.
some defense.
Drink lots of fluids.
That'll help a lot.
Drink lots of fluids. Yeah, Ching, you're more of like the fitness guy, yo. Right now, you.
I guess,
care of your
yeah.
bodies.
So bad. Yeah,
Take
take
care
care
of
of
your
yourself. You know? take care of your chicken.
Feed them.
Yeah. Yeah, but, you know, just have fun. I think at the end of the day, have fun, man.
Yeah.
It's all about winning, man.
Sonny's a beast attitude guy. Yeah.
All right, question 3. I think this is our last question.
Yeah,
Holy
that's
Yeah.
our last question.
pretty fast. All right. Okay. This is actually pretty fun. This question, okay? If you're going to build a Hmong volleyball team, all right, and there's a draft, like kind of like the NFL draft, right? There's first overall pick, second, and there's different rounds. What position would you draft first, and why? Who wants to start? Chang, you want to go first?
Shane, go first, Shane.
Yeah. Okay, well, first of all, you know, I love volleyball, so I'm always going to draft a coach to help me out, too. Dude, man, it's still, I'm still learning stuff.
Just
but
imagine if they draft coaches during NFL.
dude, yeah, that'd be kind of cool, I think. But I think for sure, a good coach. I think, you know, because I'm my mentality is like, I'm coming this as like the owner. so I would draft a good coach to draft good players.
But
So, you know,
the coach.
bro.
This is a coach's mind.
Not
I'm
an owner's mind, fool.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
resign
draft
the
another
coach
coach.
position.
He's drafting another coach under him, his assistant coach.
Shane, you're not the owner. You're the coach. So they drafted
I
you.
want- Yeah, right. But no, but I think okay. I guess if I had to, you know, if I had to as a coach, I would definitely just choose. You know, I'd say a good center push straight up. I'm gonna draft a coach still.
All right, that's fine. That's a fair answer, man. I like
Center,
that
huh?
answer. He said
Yeah,
coach.
yeah.
We'll go with coach.
All right,
Chang.
all right,
I'll let
yeah.
that fly.
I think it's just because I've been out of the game for so long, man. But yeah.
Assistant coach.
Final
So,
answer, like I did.
So, who's the coach?
I don't know. Someone who can, you know, do better than I can. But I mean, I think, you know, I'd have to look at their credibility and see how it goes. But
What college they came from?
The resume.
their resume, yeah,
How long
yeah.
they've been coaching?
It has to pass the ATS system too, you know.
Gotta have like a winning record to a season.
Someone was about having fun and, you know.
Yeah. All right, hey, Chang, I like
I don't know,
that
man.
answer, man. That's
Yeah,
that's a
I
unique
think I
answer
did
that I
too.
was not prepared for. No joke.
I knew somebody was gonna be a smart ass and say that.
Yeah, it would be Chang.
Oh gosh,
Yeah, that
that's
or Lee
funny.
Powell.
But that's me though.
Lee, who would you draft then? We'll transition over to you.
I agree with you. I would draft not a
Coach?
coach.
Take the coach, dude.
Not a coach, but a setter
I'll put me
first.
to the sideline.
Taking the QB.
Taking a
Oh,
the
setter.
setter, you know, a good setter can control the game, can control his players. You know, when the team receives the ball, the offense looks at the setter to let the offense know what plays run. You know,
Right.
It's not like they look at the strong hitter and like, hey, what should we run?
Yeah, what you want to hit? Yeah,
What you want to hit?
Like, hey, call the play, strong side.
yeah.
You know, so I think a good setter for a team will be a really good benefit for it.
Yeah, I actually agree with you, Lee. I think for me, I would pick a setter as well.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, just statistically, a setter touches the ball 33% of the time, right? A third of the time on the side. So
At least once, man.
Or
Yeah.
none if the guy can't pass and you shake the ball. Again, move your feet.
but a good setter for sure. Just because I think what I mentioned above too with attributes was leadership, right? And typically a setter, you know, should have good leadership qualities. So like I think if I were to start a team, I'll start with that position first because you double dip into it. You have the person who touches the ball the most, and you have a leader.
The
who-
brains.
Yeah, who should be able to control the game, either through his emotions or through his leadership attributes
Decision.
or through his decision making
Yeah.
and controlling the game. I mean, you have to be savvy as a setter. So the first position I would draft would be a setter, and then anything else can come after that.
That's cliche, guys.
Who would you draft then?
I will go with the middle hitter, man. I'm gonna draft a middle hitter.
With her,
I'm gonna draft a middle hitter because I think middle hitters are important. They're one of the tools that is, if effectively used, carries the team and sets up the offense, sets up the outside.
Oh, so you're talking about like using the middle like
As a decoy.
Decoy. He could be a decoy. He could be a true middle hitter. Give it to him. He could be blocks too, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking offense and defense. I need this guy to do.
Right.
First line of defense.
first line offense.
First line of offense, man.
That's a good take. Yeah, that's pretty important. Yeah. Good. Okay, so the follow-up question was going to be like, who's your second pick? And I would actually go with the middle. So I'm going to kind of back you up a little bit. I would say the middle too, second to my setter, because actually, I'm more of a system guy. So like, it starts with the setter and then it goes to the middle. You got to run that quick in order to open up your outsides. Even your back row hitters too. If you can't run that quick, then honestly setting becomes so boring. You don't need a smart setter. If you're not going to run no quicks, you're not going to run anything. You just have a setter just throws up high, throw it outside, throw it weak side, throw it high middle. You don't need a good setter at that point. So like, if you run a fast system like that, middle, you got to have endurance. You got to have length. You got to have power and stamina, good blocks. Dude, you have to have good quality.
He's the guy, dude. He's the guy that needs to have it all. Because if he cannot block, he shouldn't be there. If he cannot run that middle effectively, he shouldn't be there.
Can't run fakes.
He can't fake. He can't decoy. He shouldn't be there. Right. That's how important that position is.
And shot, the middle hitter.
Shaw,
for sure.
yeah.
B, when you said when you said that volleyball becomes boring if you can't have a middle hitter who runs plays, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it becomes boring for the setter because it's just basic throw the ball up, right?
Yeah.
Would you rather have a setter who is a good setting and a bad hitter, or a great hitter and a bad setter?
Wait. Repeat that again.
Okay. So
I think about this.
Okay. So what you said was volleyball becomes boring.
Yes.
Because you start just throwing the ball up to the outside guys, right? Because you don't have a main hitter. Would you rather? So in this question, would you rather have a strong, a good setter and a weak hitter combined, or a strong hitter and a weak setter combined? Because the strong hitter can make the weak setter look good, but a good setter can't make a weak hitter look good.
Right. So, like, if we're going to base off of that system where I'm just throwing high balls, then you got to have a strong hitter to cover up the setter's mistakes or lack of ball positioning.
Unless he sets over all the time,
Yeah, you can't help that.
You can't do that.
You don't have a chance.
I think I'd rather have the setter, dude.
A strong setter over a hitter?
Yeah, because he's got two other guys to toss to.
Yeah, but what Steele's saying is that like, you're not running fast plays. You're just throwing twos.
So throw that equation out. Throw the equation of the other hitters. B's saying you're just throwing regular twos.
And this guy is just fucking pounding it.
Yeah, you can be the best setter in the world, but you can't compensate what this guy can do. But if you're a good hitter, you can work with a bad set.
Yeah.
You get my drift, right?
Yeah.
I got you.
That's why the middle is very important. You got to run that fast thing. If you can't run that, then I guess the setter is important.
The outside's got to be effective, yeah.
I just got to prove my point wrong drafting a setter.
Yeah, dude. You guys that said setters, y'all taking the L's, man.
Or coaches?
Yo, coaches.
Well. First of all, I feel like if you have a good coach to even help them set up those good set, teach them those, you can't accomplish it.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, for sure.
So that brings me to my point. Like, the reason why I say that, because you brought up a good thing, is I would draft a true outside player. What does that mean? What does a true outside player mean? That means not a guy who can play weak side or middle, who just gets pushed outside. A guy who stays outside, who can hit any ball. Who knows all the shots, all the rolls, all the angles, all the lines, who can read the blocks. Because technically, when you're the outside hitter, you're considered the go-to guy. You're the powerhouse, right? In Hmong volleyball, and you have big responsibilities because you always guaranteed to have 2 blockers on you. If you can't run the middle, you have 2 blockers on your weak side and middle hitter.
Yep.
You know, so I think a true outside hitter would be a true outside player would be my first pick. It's just because, dude, like
He's the guy to go when
Yeah.
you guys have the off balls.
yeah, you know, and I think in all of volleyball, like I think 9 out of 10 times the outside guy is the go-to guy. Well, like whether you want to admit it or not, like he is the guy who pounds the ball, who's the shot caller, I guess, you know, because he's the captain,
He
the
gets
leader.
He gets all the ugly passes, man.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
When you shank a pass, the
Throw it
setter,
up.
the setter
Yeah.
has to throw it to the outside guy.
Yeah.
You know, so generally, I think for me, I've always said this, like in my mindset, for me, like you live and you die by your best player, meaning whether it's game point, you know, and you need a side out, whatnot, give it to your best player. And usually for me, like I truly think that 9 out of 10 times your best player is your outside guy. You know, that's just my opinion.
I think for me, it's the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? The more I think about this, how we led up to this question was offense or defense, and we said defense was the most important part.
And we
And we
never
all
picked
drafted
defense.
And we
offensive
chose.
That's
I chose
funny.
a coach.
But like, still though, an outside hitter can be a really great defensive player.
Yes.
A setter could be a great defensive player.
Yeah.
A middle could be a really good defensive player. But most middles, they get taken out for defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they suck at defense.
Because they're a little bit taller, a little bit less agile.
Clumsy.
Less agile. Yeah.
They're there to do the job, man.
Right.
Yeah, man.
All right, so who would you draft second then? So
That's messed up, man.
Yeah.
Why ain't nobody draft a defensive player? Actually, who are defensive players, man? Like Deepaul said, these guys are not recognized. That's why.
The barrel, you know.
Yeah, that's why
That's why they're
a lot of
low.
our attention goes to
Offense.
offensive, line and offensive, attackers.
Yeah, that's your name. But who would you draft second then?
Me?
Yeah. Oh, any of you. So I said setter first and then middle hitter. And then, or what, you said middle hitter and then who?
I think I would setter.
You go setter?
Yeah.
Middle setter? Okay, see you.
A true weak side hitter.
That's how you do it, dude.
What do I mean by that? A guy who's just not playing middle and strong side. A guy who
A
can
guy
play
who can swing all the weak side. All the weak side sets, man. And actually, that position is very underrated too.
Yeah, dude.
It is.
That maybe that's because of all the lefty players, all the players that are left-handed, is not so common. But
Or what you, Lee?
I'll pick a defense.
Yeah.
okay,
What?
Yeah, I would.
who?
I got my boy Mang.
Yeah,
You know?
Mango.
Mango. Unfortunately, that's the only
Second
guy I
round.
know. Him and Jackie in town. It's too sad.
And said Tom
Him and Jackie in town.
in town. Oh, I was at and Tom. I'm like, oh, Tom.
Hey, Tom was pretty good too.
Yeah.
A setting.
So, like a DS, a libero?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. All right, Cheng, what about you, bro?
Shoot, I would have to say,
Say assistant coach,
hey.
buddy.
not just any assistant coach, a true assistant coach. Just messing, but I'd have to go with LP and say a libero too. I think having a good defense a little bit, I think would help make the setter's role a lot less painful.
Yeah.
So.
I thought you were just
But
high because when it came.
no, I mean for real, man.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love volleyball, so
I would not draft a libero. First,
wouldn't?
second,
No,
first, second, maybe not even third, dude.
but that was your coaching philosophy.
Yeah.
Same with you guys.
Yeah.
hey, I chose a libero.
Hey, a setter can play good defense, guys. I'm telling you that.
If
So
he's
that's
back
that's
row.
why you gotta draft a player who can do multiple things, dude.
Yeah.
They can play the middle. They can play D. They could be the setter if need be. The ball's there.
Oh, I get you.
So
Like
so
who?
like these players aren't just, I guess, playing one position.
Yeah. We automatically assume that they're playing good defense.
Just
already,
that.
then.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sid, who's your? Oh, you said weak side leap out. Oh yeah. All right. Damn, we already got through that then.
Yeah.
teams with
All
good
right.
weak side players, dude. they're on
They
another.
kill, dude.
They're on another level, dude.
Weak
Like,
side most of the time they're 1-on-1.
yeah.
Especially if it's a lefty, dude.
Did you know though, like in international play, like nationally, actually, well, that was kind of a weird sentence.
Internationally,
yeah. Well, I was talking about like the national team.
Yeah.
Actually, they put their best hitter as the weak side hitter, because not strong side. They put their most powerful hitter as the weak side because once they go back row, they can still hit from that position, but just further off the net.
True.
Right, so you think of Matt Anderson, right? He hits weak side, so when the setter's back row, he hits his position. But then when he moves back row, they still have
He
three
still
hitters.
hit back row right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They still have the middle, their strong side, and Matt Anderson hitting weak side. But
That's how Midwest runs it, dude. That's why they put Corey there. 1 for blocks. 2, he still jumped from the back row line and swing that back row.
That's funny though, because Corey, like, it took a while before they realized that Corey was always like an outside middle guy, and it was only until recently, like
They started playing him.
they started putting him on weak side, and hitting the back row weak side.
yeah, they call that balance of powers.
Balance of powers.
Yeah, so they
Gotcha.
they always have three strong hitters up or attacking at
So
all
would
times.
they do that with the weak side hitter? The strong side? You get 4 hitters, dude. Fuck.
But then you
He makes a good point.
so you're
Hey,
saying
run it, man.
so you're saying there's a strong side hitter, middle hitter, a setter, and then the
There's 2 back row hitters.
back row hitters, dude.
Either
Four hitters.
both sides of the courts.
when we say balance of power, is like it's spread out across the net, so it makes it harder for the blockers to move and to know,
Who's gonna?
creates more gaps
Yeah.
between the blocks. Yeah, that's why they call it.
That's cool, man.
But I mean, whatever you want, man. Your
That's
system.
interesting
You run.
that Midwest runs their game plan almost like that, y'all. Maybe that's where they got it from, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, Corey did try out for the national team. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he had something to do
Yeah.
with that. Yeah.
Damn.
It's crazy, yo. But you know what's cool, guys? This wraps up our podcast for this week. But next
Yeah.
week, guys, we're gonna turn our debate or our little conversation at the end there about drafting into an actual Hmong volleyball draft.
Fantasy Hmong
yeah, like a
volleyball.
Hmong fantasy volleyball draft. So we're gonna list players that we have seen, all right, in the past, whether it's on YouTube, maybe even players we may have heard of. But I think it's more of what we have seen, and we're gonna draft them. Like we're gonna have like 6 rounds where we're picking top overall, second, and we're gonna actually have their names listed, and we're gonna come up with our fantasy Hmong volleyball team.
Yes.
That sounds pretty fun, don't it?
That
and then,
sounds
and
awesome.
then you guys
Of all generations, like
no,
All generations.
Yeah,
all
all
I
generations.
thought it was just the guys we've seen.
Oh, but
Like,
like,
yeah,
but
but we could have seen like generation now to the past, you know what I'm talking about? So it's still all generations. No?
right, yeah. So like, for
ain't
example,
nobody gonna pick players from this generation.
who knows, man? Chang.
What?
Chang,
There's some
I
good
don't know.
players
you
out
better
right now.
pick 6 coaches, man.
I pick, B, Yee.
But yeah, it'll be pretty cool
Yeah,
because
it'll
I
be
mean,
awesome.
there'll be generations in the past that we have seen, but they're not in our generation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it overlaps generations. So I guess yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
then-
we can explain about that. So
And then after our draft, like you as the viewers can vote who
Which team
has the
who
best
has
fantasy
the best
team.
team and who has got the worst team, and maybe we could do like a little challenge or something, you know,
Yeah,
to
a
a
little
loser.
penalty or
Yeah,
something.
penalty for having the worst team.
oh
or
yeah,
something
dude,
like that.
That'll be pretty
You
awesome.
know,
Yeah.
so
Cool,
so
cool.
stay tuned to that.
Stay tuned to next week's episode. Okay, so this is part 1 of the Coach's Mind. Part 2, we'll call it Coach's Mind Part 2 too as well. Yeah.
fantasy
Or
draft.
fantasy
man.
draft. Yeah, that'll be coming up. All right. This is just a little look of this podcast. Was just a little look into our coach's mindset, and dig a little deeper into the actual game of volleyball. Like when we talk about strategies, tactics,
Strategically,
and
how to play
yes.
it. Yeah.
And
so-
what we think, you know.
right, exactly. So
How would you guys do it? How would you guys run your squad? How defense, offense?
Which one you on first?
Yeah. What position you guys are gonna draft first? And why?
Please don't say coach.
Please don't say setter.
And hey, listeners, we also are including chapters within our podcast so that you guys can kind of follow along. Maybe go jump to a segment that you guys want to listen to, and like you was saying, comment down below. You know, be part of our conversation as well. We want to hear your feedback and your thoughts on these conversations too. Okay.
And follow us on Facebook. You know.
Yeah.
For sure. That's all that we have. So as always, relax. You
got it.